Hey, so hi everyone. Today I'm playing Gurney in the community mod. This is a round of B leaders, and I picked Gurney in 4th position, not because I think it's the strongest pick, but there are some factors which I see in the role which I do kind of like Gurney. I like Gurney when there are good two costers in the row, and even though I'm last to pick, I do think like one of the two costers will come around to me. Um, yeah, all of the two costers are pretty decent, so let's see which one I get. So at the end of round two, I buy a total of three two costers. I think that yeah, having two costers is very good for Gurney, especially if you want to go into like a sheep or rabbit mode. You want to like rush to 10 points because like hitting Spice and Slows with Gurney is like very easy, but you do need these two precision cards. Um, so having a good size of them in your deck actually kind of helps you. The downside to this, which you will see, is that I have low persuasion. However, you do note that out of the cards I bought, two of them have daggers on them. So actually like having a substantial amount of daggers in your deck actually with leadership does make it quite powerful. So I'm hoping to leverage this to win some combats, and I think picking up two early combat intrigues makes this path a lot simpler, especially since like green and yellow shown that they don't have combat intrigues because of how combat 2 played out. So let's see how this game goes. So am I a rabbit or am I a wolf? The round four combat just ended. I won round two, round three, round four combat. That makes me a wolf, right? Well, if you look at what I have, do I have any long-term advantages? Do I have any late game advantages? No, I don't. Actually, I am a rabbit. I'm totally a rabbit. You know, I yes, I have won some combats, but these mean nothing in the long scheme of things. I cannot win the late combats. I don't have the advantages in order for me to win these late game combats. And there's something that you know, as a rabbit, you don't need to be passive in combat, right? You can actively fight in combat. It's perfectly fine, alright? Especially before these wolves have like all their combat advantages, you can definitely push for your matches for combat rewards and use that to fuel your game. And so these 2 points should help me a lot. One thing one thing is that I have not really bought much faction access, and it's going to hurt eventually. I do know that earlier on I probably could have bought faction, but I didn't. But I do think at this point, yeah, it's a bit too late. So, I think managing my Diplo is like very important, and this particular Diplo trip to Fremen, even though I have a Fremen card, is mainly because of wanting to turn on smugglers or spice traders. Can't remember what they're called. Um, I made a major misplay here. I think that in round 5, if I go High Council, I can buy a Spice Slow. Because I think that I have 6 persuasion, I have 6 combat strength, so I can get that one extra persuasion. So I do my math wrong, because if I play my dagger, I actually lose the persuasion. And so this is one thing that I made a misplay. Yes, I could have bought a Spice Slow if I hit a 2 persuasion card, but I made a mistake because I thought that I would buy it automatically, and so when I drew and I counted, I realized I made a misplay. So this is my round 5 misplay that probably could have cost me the game. So if you watch round 5, round 6, right, I actually do something else that's interesting. I tell Green that, if he pressures Deep Desert Spice, right, then Red has the option of like either getting Swordmaster or getting the Spice. Most of the time, like Swordmaster is probably more important at that situation, so it really puts a lot of pressure on Red. Probably that is like really game winning from my end to be able to convince another player to do it. I don't think that is a bad move like on Green's part. Like if he's able to pick up the Spice, I think it is really powerful for Green. And either way, it slows down Red. He either loses his Spice or he has to give up Swordmaster. Um, and one thing to note is that the round 5 combat was the one where you get a Ferment Vamp and you get water. If you win that combat with worms, right, you get so much back because of the water, and it can fuel your game like crazy. He's already in a very powerful spot, and I think if he gets Swordmaster at that spot, I think like probably I would have lost. I do think that it's game winning. I almost bought Overthrow, but yellow buys it with 9 persuasion, so um, so sucks to be me. Yeah. Overall, if you see like how round 6 went as well, Green blocks Red from Swordmaster, and so I mean that's like perfect for me. Um, Glad how everything played out. Um, yeah, really to my advantage. I think so key things to note is that I think round 7, I recognize that I have the ability to fight because of Red not getting Swordmaster. If Red had Swordmaster, I probably can't fight that Red round. I probably will when I do other things. But because of like the specific intrigues that I had, I feel confident enough that I can play in a manner which would either win me the combat or would make Red have to put in a lot of resources for the combat. So either of the outcomes is good for me. Other than that, I think the round 8 combat was good for me also because like it didn't affect me at all. It affected some of my opponents. So overall, I do think I was very lucky. I don't think I played this particularly well because I did need more faction access. And I didn't have faction access, and then eventually, like the all the things that I bought did clunk up my deck. The round that I tried to buy Spice and Slow, I made a mistake, and I do think that I could have played better in this situation. However, you do see how yeah, how I identified that round 7 I could fight because of the lack of advantages from everyone else, right? The late sword masters from everyone, the high councils not becoming anything, and me being the only one with intrigues. And so I hope that you can recognize all these things in the future as well, and hopefully play your game. So this is the rabbit that won 4 combats. Hope you enjoyed this game. See you. So in this game, the green player wanted to play Corin City to go to somewhere and discard Corrupt Bureaucrat, to get 3 Solari to be able to buy the point. However, based on how the rules are now, you can't do that because you can't do a consequence action in order to pay for the the cost. This is something that Paul has mentioned, and as much as it is, it feels so bad. Like it feels so bad that um this rule is in place. I can understand like why it is. Like you don't really want to have a cost to kind of pay for the the yeah, you don't really want a cost to pay for the front part. However, in this case, it's not really a cost because it's on the left side. Like, cause it's a discarding thing. So, I sent a message to Paul about whether we can change this rule. I think that in the rule of cool, like it's so cool, it's so thematic. Like when you see these cards, you think that okay, I can do this. I can play Corin City. I can discard Corrupt Bureaucrat. I can get the 3 Solari. I can get a point. It feels so good, and I hope that we can somehow adjust the rules so that we can allow this to happen. Um, so Paul, please, and if you think that that the rules should be adjusted to allow this cool interaction as well, as one of the players tried to do, yeah, do write in the comments. See you around.